It wasn't like it was an openly discussed thing amongst young people.
Right.
It wasn't until we started realizing, first of all, it was AIPAC. It was the weirdness of the New York City mayoral race.
Yeah, of course.
Very weird. Where they were all like, we're going to visit Israel. Like, what?
Well, it's also in direct opposition to the stated goal of the Trump administration, which is to repair the United States and to make it great and to elevate it and to focus on the United States.
And to not go into Middle Eastern wars, which was a huge, very popular plank of his platform, and to not waste money and saddle ourselves with debt and mire ourselves in these unwinnable wars. And there was such a gaslighting campaign. The Secretary of State came out after the Iran war and goes, well, Israel's going to attack them anyway, and our bases were going to be vulnerable, so we had to join. And then he went, no, I didn't mean that. I didn't really mean that. We're partners.
I think it's a great idea, and there was tremendous pressure on him to do this.
Yeah.
And, it hasn't worked. And it's clearly not in the interest of the United States to be in a Middle Eastern war with Iran. Tons of Jewish people don't believe it is. Lots of, people from all walks of life don't believe it. But there's an ideological group of people that donate a lot of money and that are
incredibly powerful, and they are really pushing this. They're pushing troops, and they're pushing nukes. Unconventional weapons, like crazy bombing campaigns. They're pushing troops on the ground. They don't care what it takes. Iran has to be either completely destroyed or it's just got to be a chaos zone. But
for the regional ambitions of Israel, it can't exist. So, I mean, again, and not in a paranoid conspiratorial way, because I don't like the victim stuff either as a bunch of people in America being like, I can't get ahead because Jewish people are successful. I think that's a stupid road to go down. That's a victim road. I hate that. I hate it when gay people do it, or anyone, any group of people. I hate when they drench themselves in victimhood. I think when you become a victim, you lose autonomy over your life. It's insane. But I do think there's a fair question to ask about what is the motive of certain massive big donors? Is the motive the strength and prosperity of America, or is it the strength and prosperity of Israel? That's a fair question.
Yeah. And what about the rest of the world? How much are we putting ourselves at odds with the rest of the world?
Indescribably the worst PR ever. And, people cannot justify, you've got to be a very ideological person to justify, southern Lebanon, Gaza,
Iran, perhaps Turkey. This is starting to feel like this is like a friend you have who you make excuses for a certain amount of time. And then your wife eventually goes, they're not allowed here. You can't go out with them. They're a problem. They have a fucked up home life. I know they're fun. I know you share values. I know that you enjoy each other. You've known each other for a long time. But here's the deal. They're not coming to the house, and they can't be around the kids. Because, that's what it's coming down to.
It was even worse than that. The thing that drives me crazy is the negotiators. When they get negotiators, then they wind up whacking them.
They kill all the negotiators.
And
They're
then
killing
Trump
the
tells
Iran
them,
deal.
stop killing the negotiators.
Yeah. And
stop bombing Lebanon.
Is this Iran deal going to work? Is it going to work? Stop bombing Lebanon. I think we're at odds now. We're in the last 2 years. We're at odds with Israel for the first time, where Trump is really at odds with them, and he's had enough. And I think he is starting to understand that his legacy will be permanently tainted if he doesn't find a way to extricate
us from this war. And I think on the other side, and Vance, again, for all the disagreements I might have with Vance about certain things, he is one of the only people in that administration who does push against the continuation of this war, which is why a lot of those neoconservative donors try to destroy him. Because of that. I don't love his tech alliances. There's a lot of things I don't like about him. But there's
a lot of things I think are good about him. I think there's, and it's not like I don't like about him per se. I worry about, some of his relationships.
How many of these relationships you think are like necessary for survival?
I'm sure all of them are, and that doesn't mean but they still need to be criticized and looked at.
Oh yeah,
and they 100%.
Oh, not justifying it at all, but I'm
totally.
saying I have a feeling like no completely autonomous person is ever going to make it through that maze.
Never. But I think the job is you turn the heat up enough where maybe if everyone's going to do 10 horrible things, they do 2.
Right.
So I think it's certainly the job of anyone who looks at this stuff to look at it and go, yeah, what is going on? What is happening? But I will say, for all of the tech, things that I find a little, it's a little like, what? I do think that, to his credit, he's the only one in there. And you can tell, and it's not that I have some inside knowledge. He's being attacked the most by the people that want the war to continue.
Yeah.
And I think he knows his political ambitions will be completely destroyed by a continuation of this war. So I look at all these people not as human beings, even though they are human beings, but I look at them as like they're running the show, they're running the country, so they all have
ambitions, and it's hard to know their hearts or heads or how they feel from one day to the next. It's very difficult. So I think when you look at them and you go, yeah, he's calculated and ambitious, but he also is the one being attacked by people that want the war to continue. Tucker Carlson, who again, I have agreements with Tucker.
I have disagreements with Tucker. The attacks on him are insane. The attacks on Megyn Kelly are wild because of this issue. It's not a myriad of issues. It's this issue.
This episode of the Joe Rogan Experience is presented by The Farmer's Dog, gently cooked, fresh dog food that's clinically shown to support healthy aging. Both of my dogs take it. I personally buy it, and I bought it before they were a sponsor. New customer, get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/Rogan. Plus, you get free shipping. Yeah, undoubtedly. And it's weird. It's weird because it's so transparent. It's so transparent, and the whole world is seeing it play out. And it's like the amount of gaslighting that you have to keep pumping. It's not sustainable.
Well, to say that this was not in the interest, this was in America's interest. You have to jump around logically so much.
Well, this is also the problem with the justification of
What happened in Gaza? When people will try to say Israel, like God was saying, they're doing the best they can. Like, look at the drone footage. Fly over that. If that's the best you can do, that's crazy. Like, it's better. Is that better than a nuke? Because I don't think it is. It's
no.
like it's
inhumane.
It looks like the damage of a nuke just spread out over 2 years instead of one blast.
It's
Inhumane. It's evil. It's children being killed. It's mothers being killed in front of their children. And by the way, October 7th was inhumane, but I shouldn't have to keep doing that.
Of
Do you know
course
what
you
I
shouldn't
mean?
have to do that, but it's also October 7th. The people that got killed, those are the ravers, right?
Right.
So those are the people that were anti-Netanyahu.
Totally.
Those are not the people that were.
They also killed, I think, probably a lot of they dragged people out of their houses.
Oh, they killed a ton of people that
it's
were
a bad situation there.
Look, it's also like, why did it take so long to respond to that?
Well, this is another very interesting, very important question.
Yeah.